The holidays are approaching, and sometimes we forget about the people that might not have such a good time. For everyone, the holidays aren't so holly and jolly. And I know this is not typical music production or sync licensing video, but I know someone else could be going through this. So I just want to share how I've been depressed and feeling lonely, not just during this holiday period, but throughout the year. It started a couple years ago when I moved to this new town that I'm in now in Canada, and I had been looking for a job since the beginning of the year. It took a long time to find this one job, and it was a midnight shift. This was the first time I've ever worked midnights, and it took a toll on me. I felt like all I was doing was working, sleeping, and eating, getting up and repeating the same cycle. Now, I've worked a janitor job before. During COVID, this nursing home needed a lot of people to work, so I worked there as a janitor. And it's nothing wrong with being a janitor. It's just working this midnight shift. It was really tough on my body, and I feel like I couldn't do anything else. So that led to like a mild depression because I went to school to be someone creative and doing the music, doing the video stuff, doing my fitness things. I just felt like, when is it going to be my turn to make a decent full-time income from what I want to do with my life? I only get one chance to live this life, and I don't want to be doing this janitor stuff my whole life. So that leads me to my second job, is where I quit the first job because the midnights, I just couldn't bear those. And it took me months to get the second job, which was another janitor job that I'm currently in now. It's a part-time job, only 20 hours a week, but it gives me enough to help my part of the bills, plus a little bit what I have with my music income and fitness income, and it helps. And I like this job a lot because it's really straight days, but every time I go, I'm like, is this gonna be my life for the next 30 years? Again, nothing is wrong with cleaning. I actually really like this job. The people are nice. The facility is kind of already clean, so I'm not doing much but just touching up things. But for my life, personally, I feel like I was put on this earth to bring joy through fitness and to bring joy through music. And I just, even though I'm doing those things, I'm not getting paid well, decently to live off of those things. I've also been depressed because I was teaching at a gym, but I had to quit because of the politics. I was trying to go to another branch in the same big box gym, but they don't really talk to each other. So it was a lot of politics being played. And I just said, I got to go, even though that really hurt my heart because I love teaching dance fitness, because you combine the music with the fitness and the dance, two things I like to do. I had to just leave, man. It was just a hard situation. So now I'm a member of the gym, but it hurts my heart every time I go back being in these group fitness classes, because I'm like, I wish I was up there teaching, because I feel like I have a real good passion to lead people through group fitness. Now, most of you people that's watching on the music channel, it's mostly a male audience, but I do have another YouTube channel, and that's mostly all women audience with dance, fitness, and most women do group fitness. So, man, you might not be able to relate, but I know you will be able to relate to the fact if someone took away music making from you, even if it was just a hobby, you'll probably feel devastated. And then the fact that you see people on social media, YouTube, out at concerts doing something that you love to do and you can't do it, it'll break your heart. So that's how I felt with the fitness stuff and then leaving. And I just go in my bouts of being like depressed and sometimes angry at the same time. And I'm trying to not to be angry, because as men, we just tend to jump to anger as emotion. We think women are the only people with emotions. No, no, no. That's just a lie men tell ourselves, because men are just as emotional as women. We are human beings. Human beings have emotions. It's just men's emotions tend to come out as anger, frustration, right? These kind of strong emotions, when emotions are emotions. So I've been really feeling like depressed and not knowing where I'm going with my life. I'm turning 40 next year, don't have any kids, and not planning to have any kids because I don't want any. And it's just like, I don't know if this is the right direction with my life. Like I said, the fitness isn't going well with my teaching. The music is not going that well. Even though I'm being paid through sync licensing, it's just not going that well. And working at this janitor job, I'm just like, man, if I'm here for another 20, 30 years, I personally felt like I would just be wasting my creativity, which this is what I felt I've been called on this earth to do. Not only have I been feeling depressed about my career and what I'm going to do as I approach 40, I've been feeling lonely, man. I think this is another thing that men especially don't talk about. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube talk about loneliness, and this is seems like an ongoing problem amongst younger people, even older people. One big factor that helped out my loneliness was teaching at the gym, right? Even though it was my job, people came to the gym to take the class. So it was like a default that I can just have people around me and talk to. But now, since I just go to the classes, it's kind of hard to try to make friends because I don't really have an excuse to talk to these people in a certain way. Since I'm mostly surrounded by women in these group fitness classes, they can get the wrong impression if I'm trying to approach them a different way, and I'm not. It's just group fitness just happens to have a majority of women. So most of the time I just stay quiet, even though when I teach my classes, you would think I'm the biggest extrovert in the world. But that's a small, tiny thing in my personality. I'm really an introvert, man. And like around groups, I don't do too well around groups. And I'm in a fraternity. And the reason why I joined the fraternity was to challenge myself and do something new. So I have 10 other brothers that I can call out with. But even then, when sometimes in the group, I just clam up and be quiet. And then people think I'm mad or something, but I'm just really an introvert. So that, especially being an adult, it's just making it harder and harder to find friends and connect with people. I have a couple of guy friends that I've had since I was a child, but now since I live in Canada and most of all of them are in the US, I barely talk to them. They got families. People just move on with their life, man. And honestly, it makes me sad that I can't be around these friends I grew up with. And I understand, right? When we had this closeness, and you might deal with this in your life, people around you when you're little, you have proximity effect. I can't even say the word right, but you know what I mean. You're around all these people, then eventually they grow up, then they move out, they have family, they do different things. And it's just hard really to, in my experience, make new friends as an adult. It just seems awkward. People have their own busy lives. So even though I'm surrounded by people in the gym and now at work, I still feel lonely because I don't feel like, especially in this city, anyone understands me. There's not a big creative scene here. I like being creative with music, with video things and talking about like high level conversational type towns. It's a blue collar town, so it's a lot of manufacturing and things like that. And I just haven't found that many people that I can have like real deep conversations with. Because small talk is okay, but I really do not like small talk. Like how's the weather? Well, I can see how the weather is and feel it because I have those senses. But that's another rant for another day. To get back to how I'm feeling lonely. So if you're going through this, there's something I've been doing recently because of the holidays. I heard it on the podcast. When you think about how we interact with people now, it has changed. Let's just take the example of birthdays. Before all this internet stuff, you had to call someone or send a card, write a letter. Now what we do, you might text, right? When the phones first came out, you might text a happy birthday now. You don't call anymore. Now with the rise of social media, you just write it on their wall. And then you can take it down even smaller. Some people even just write HBD. Come on, man. How lazy can you be that you need to abbreviate happy birthday? Did you even care about the person in the first place? So I think we've we've created our own loneliness disconnect. Even though I can go on social media and see all of my college friends, I can see all of my high school friends, I can see all of my elementary friends, but it just makes me feel even lonelier because it's perceived that they're doing good with their life, that they're so happy. And that's why I'm making this video during this time, because especially during the Christmas time and New Year's, I know everyone doesn't celebrate these things, but if you see them on your feed, everybody gonna be smiling with their family. Well, guess what? There's some people where the holiday time isn't so holly. Think about those people in your life that they may have had a tough year. They may have lost a best friend. They may have lost a parent. Or they're out on their own and they have nobody to celebrate these holidays with. I want you to check up on these people. I understand we think about ourselves first. That's just human nature and organisms in general. We think about the preservation of our own self first. But there's probably someone out there that may need you, that may need your help. So what I've been doing, I take a few minutes out my day. I know in this day and age, calling somebody is like a sin. Nobody wants to be bothered with a call anymore. So what I've been doing is people that I haven't touched base in a while, I just drop a 10 to 15 seconds voice message and send it through them through either social media or if I have their number through a text. The reason why I use a voice is I think it's important to hear. You can hear the intonations, the inflections, and you can feel the sincerity of the voice versus if I just go to your social media wall and just write Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday. Does it mean anything? I mean, especially if I look at Christmas, people are just going to go to everybody's wall, even people you're not really friends with, you just acquaintance with, you're just going to write Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, New Year. What does it mean? But I think it means so much more if you took 15 seconds to just make a voice memo and say, hey, I'm checking up on you. I know you might be with your friends and family, but I care about you. I'm grateful for our friendship, our relationship. I'm wishing you a happy holiday, a happy new year, happy birthday, or a Merry Christmas. That's probably going to mean so much more than a generic wall post on social media. So I challenge you to not only think about yourself, but reach out to somebody who really needs this because, like I said, everybody is in Holly during the holidays. They need someone else to help pick them up, to know that they're cared for, that they're not alone, that if they're going through something, a depressing time, that someone is there for them. I know sometimes I feel like no one is there for me. Even though I might have friends and family around with me or I can talk to, it just feels like I'm alone. I can't really explain it. I hope during this holiday time, you take my advice after you finish watching this video and reach out to somebody. It's gonna mean a lot. And I've been practicing what I'm preaching. I've been doing this every day, reaching out to people that I haven't talked to in a long time. I know people are busy, especially around this time. People are running around, but just take 10 to 15 seconds out your day. Send them a voice or just call them and leave a voicemail if you can't talk that long, because someone else needs you. Someone else is lonely. Someone else is depressed, and hearing your voice can help them get through these hard times. Take it easy. Peace.